Every morning there is a keening, ululating singing from the rooftops of the City of Kings, as the Vadarans take to the high places to praise the new day, despite the attempts of the annoyed Risen to sweep them off the roof tiles. "It is the Dolomites, the silent ones," intones Calamis from one of the battlements of the city. Beside it stands Talora, her wing bound to her side with fresh bandages. The Vadora knows that there are two factions amongst the Risen. The Watchful, which Calamis belongs to, are the most active, whereas the rock, root and bone Dolomites are forever silent. They think the Vadarans disrespect the holy stone. "Disrespect?" Talora is outraged. "We worship the fallen, and this is the city crafted by them. Our morning and evening song is in praise to their greatness. We sing for their return to the world. We sing for their guidance wherever they came from. Every day is a blessing given to us by the fallen, and the winds carry our prayers to them." "Is it?" Calamis mutters, his glowing eyes glaring for a moment. But the herald's zeal cannot be dimmed. "Yes, it is. We Vadarans believe that the fallen not only created the Risen, but that these gods created all of our races, and we Vadarans were the second. We will never stop our prayers." "Perhaps," Calamis' voice grates, "perhaps it would be easier if the Vadaran had many places to pray. They're old shrines. The House of the Eastern Wind is the shrine of the hidden sun." Talora agrees. "They were fallen sites, but they have been demolished by Vesh." "Then we should rebuild their glory, for the Vadarans, for all of us, and for the peace of the city," Calamis says. Hi, welcome back to Box Delights, and welcome to the City of Kings playthrough. We're playing solitaire with two characters. We're playing the scenario Carry Our Prayers, and our objective is to build the House of the Eastern Wind and the Shrine of the Hidden Sun. In this video series, I'm going to be diving straight into the game, and we're going to learn to play as we play. In the City of Kings, each player takes on the role of a great leader, and we've got to play cooperatively to defeat the armies of Vesh. We're going to be exploring these lands, searching for resources, and those resources will help us trade for equipment. There's going to be little sub-quests that we can go on, and we've got these little workers that can accompany us. We can send them out, gathering resources, bringing them back to the City of Kings, where they can be left in the old barn and turned into items, equipment, that then can help us in our quest. The game's played over a number of rounds, and this is controlled by this time tracker. And we've got some meters here. There's a hope meter here. Each scenario or story that we're playing will put the time tracker at a different point at the start of the game. Every time this time tracker moves round past midnight, we lose one hope. We get 0 hope, we lose the game. We might also encounter creatures as we travel the map, and those creatures will battle with us, potentially causing us to lose health. So you have to keep an eye on your health. If your health falls below 1, down to 0, then you're critically damaged. You're not eliminated, you're godlike, remember, but you lose a morale. So we've got to make sure that our heroes survive. We win the game depending on which story or scenario we're playing. You heard the introduction to this scenario, Carry Our Prayers, which is one I'm playing. This is a difficulty normal. It's a type build. There's other types of scenarios that have us battling creatures or escorting NPCs or perhaps gathering resources. A scenario is kind of a one-time mission. You're kind of on your own. You have an objective. We've learnt our objective. It says build the House of the Eastern Wind and the Shrine of the Hidden Sun to Phase 3. I'll show you what that means in a bit. There's lots of scenarios, and there's stories as well, which is like a series of mini objectives that lead you through a story of chapters. Each story and each scenario has its own setup instructions. So the board setup here is what we see in the middle, particular tiles pulled out and setting up the landscape that we're playing on, where our heroes start, where those heroes' workers start. Stats that you begin with. In this scenario here, we pretty much start on 0 on everything, right? Everything back at the beginning. But some scenarios, some stories push you up and give you some experience to distribute, gives you more difficult creatures to take on. And also, depending on the number of players, where all the trackers start. So 2-player, we start in this one with 2 hope. It starts at early morning and the morale 3. But you can see that on higher player counts, you start further round the clock. You've got fewer turns to complete the scenario objective. And there's a stack of these. So City of Kings has lots of variability in the types of objectives and therefore the strategies that you'll deploy. So although you may feel every game plays out similarly, there's different objectives are going to make you play in different ways. Do I want to level up? Do I want to gather resources? Do I want to defeat creatures? Am I exploring lots? All these different variables start to change and change the way you play. Let's get straight into it then, and we'll learn how we play as we play. There is a turn tracker on the player boards. Notice these plastic overlays that help everything sit in place. They hold your stat trackers, and this is a spare worker here. I think I set them up in the wrong spot. This is worker 2. Worker 1's already out there on the board. It says round summary, resolve story. Have we completed our objective? We haven't yet. Move the time tracker. So already the time tracker has moved on to late morning. These aren't going to do anything at the moment. These icons, we'll just skip past them. Just be aware that different things can act out when these icons are hit. Frost will melt, fires will subside. The creatures we can encounter might blight the landscape as we travel across it. Next is player turns. Player turns says resolve impairments. Impairments are things that we can pick up that haven't affected us yet. Activate creatures. Creatures that we've encountered will get allocated to a different player and they activate on that player's turn. And then we take our hero and worker actions. It feels a little bit like worker placement. I'm not going to use that term because our workers are things that act on the board, but more action selection. We've got these selection tokens. We're going to use those to choose which actions we can take. So I could move once, there's only one slot for moving, or I could explore twice, there's 2 spots for exploring, or I could move and explore. But let's take a moment to think about our objectives. This is the map, this is the City of Kings and our trackers and experience. Here's our workers. We can move out from here orthogonally in these directions. These are unexplored tiles. We don't know what's there. We can move onto them, and in fact we can move back off them. We can't move from unexplored tile to unexplored tile. So if we want to move over to here, for example, we have to explore this tile in order to get across to here. Alright, you can move from an explored tile to an unexplored tile. Our objective, remember, is to upgrade these shrines. So there's one up here, this is the Shrine of the Hidden Sea, and there's one down here, the House of the Eastern Wind. During setup, off to the side were some upgrades. So there's 2 more House of the Eastern Winds. This is the Phase 1, shrine. This is the Phase 2 shrine, Phase 3 shrine. We can upgrade those shrines. So that's our objective. Upgrade this to level 3, upgrade this to level 3. So we know we've got to get across here and explore. How do we upgrade shrines? And that will kind of give us an idea about what we're trying to achieve. Unfortunately, the tiles make this easy to understand because it says on here we need 3 fish. 1, 2, 3. 3 fish to upgrade to Phase 2, and then to get from 2 to 3, this was the Phase 2, we'll then need 5 fish to move to Phase 3. So we're going to need lots of fish. Okay, once it's at Phase 3, then we're there. So upgrade each one twice is our objective. Now, gathering fish is going to be our workers' function. So they're going to be going out and taking the gather action to gather fish. And we can gather fish either over here at Quiet Sea or up here at the Moon Lake. It has the gather icon and a fish. Our hero's function then is to look after our workers. We're going to be exploring. If there's creatures around, we're going to be taking them on. We don't want creatures grabbing hold of our workers. They'll lock them down and they won't be able to do the job of moving up, gathering fish, bringing it back to the City of Kings, storing it in the old barn where we can then use it to upgrade the shrines, which is again a function our heroes can perform. So you can see in this mission, in this scenario, our heroes kind of have a supportive role, and the actual act of going and gathering the fish, which is what this is going to be all about, our workers are going to be doing. Upgrading our workers, letting them move faster. Yeah, I think, because we're limited in time, we've got quite a lot of work to do to be able to gather so much fish that we can upgrade both. That's a kind of a broad strategy for what I think we're trying to achieve here. One little touch that I like from the designers is how they've got these different coloured tiles, the green and the red tend to be up here in the northeast, furthest away from the City of Kings, and that allows the designer to kind of control which tiles are going to be furthest from the city. Nice little designer touch there. So let's think about these actions then. We'll have Brutius the Broken as our first player every round. And for his turn, I think the first action we'll do is have him move up here. So we take one of our 4 action tokens. These say what 4 actions can we take each turn. They could be all on our hero, all on our workers, or split between them. It's up to you, entirely up to you. So we'll have Brutius move, but we've taken up the 1 move spot. He can't move again. And we look at his stats, and we can see that he has a movement value of 2. It's the only thing I don't really like here. We need the 2 down below where it's not covered up with the thing, but you'll get used to it. This is a 2, so you can move up to 2 spaces. Now we already know we can't move from unexplored tile to unexplored tile. So I can't move 2, I can't move 1, 2. Yeah, this is unexplored to unexplored, so I'm going to have to stop here anyway. So that's action number 1. I'm going to try and clear a way up to Moonlake. Incidentally, these are called attention tokens. We'll come into those in more detail. Basically, when you try and gather from here, you have to roll a die, and then there's a chance when you roll that die that you'll roll another one of these attention symbols. If a tile ever gets 4 attention tokens, instead of placing the 4th, instead you place a creature there. So yeah, these guys are going to have to go up here and deal with those creatures before we can start gathering from Moonlake. So my second action is going to be to explore. We'll have the hero take the risk and potential benefit from whatever's on this tile, rather than workers. Workers can explore. See that they've got move, explore, work. Heroes, Brutius has move, explore, attack, heal, a special, and interact. The special is going to look at our tech tree, our skill tree. We'll come to this at a suitable point, but basically we can't do anything special at the beginning until we learn some of these skills. To explore, we're going to flip over this tile and see what's there. Any game with exploration in has already got me hooked, because I love all this not knowing what you're going to get type stuff. Exploration's awesome. Alright, let's see what's here. The Inn of Lost Hope. This is a quest tile. That's pretty cool. Quest tiles, if revealed by a worker, do nothing. So this is why heroes are good at exploring. If a quest tile is revealed by a hero, then we draw a quest card. If your hero is standing on a quest tile, then you can take the interact action. We looked at our player boards and saw the interact action. If you interact with the quest tile, you draw a quest card. Right, so let's do that. So as soon as a hero reveals a quest tile, then reveal a quest card. This one says, the healer's call. I am the High King's chief healer, and I have heard of the poison clouds of Vesh. We must put a stop to this evil and foul weapon. Well, this quest is a bit of a gift because it's already complete. But let me just cover a couple of things. This is a group quest, a support quest for the group. You place this in the quest hub. There can be any number of quests here, and any player can complete them at any time, as long as you've got the requirements. It says, so there's 2 things. We can either clear the Ageless Realms. The Ageless Realms are all the green tiles of poison, or you can clear all the green ones and the Azure Rise. That's all the red ones for option B. So if there was poison all scattered around, I clear the green ones, I get the smaller reward. If I clear the red ones and the green ones, I get the bigger reward. So as it goes, there's no poison. I can immediately take option B and receive the reward. So yeah, bit of a gift, this one. And the reward for option B is 3 experience. This is 3 XP. And this symbol here is an equipment card. We get to draw an equipment card. So let's discard this and take our XP up to 3. The good news here is that on this track are rewards, and you gain the rewards for every spot on the track that you pass or land on. These green ones here are stat increases, so we've got 1 stat increase, nothing for 2, number 3, another stat increase. And with these 2 level increases, the good news is both players get them, right? This is group stuff, this is group experience. So we can have Brutius take 2 stat increases and Sashara take 2 stat increases. So what I think we'll do for Sashara is we'll upgrade her workers. We'll move the worker stat, the move stat from 1 to 2 as a first upgrade, and the second skill stat will move the gather from 1 to 2. And for Brutus, I think we'll do something similar, but I might actually just upgrade one of his primary hero stats as well. Let's upgrade his worker to a 2-stat move, but let's also increase Brutus's attack, and we'll move that from 1 to 2, just to give us a little bit more versatility as we begin. So we've taken our XP. Our next reward was an equipment card. Here we draw from this deck, and we've drawn an Abyssal Grimoire. Any equipment we draw goes in the trade district spot, just here. Each equipment card has a cost. This one costs 1 fish and 5 linen. Having this will increase your stats. So this gives you +3 heal and +3 range. And at the bottom it says arms. This is the equipment slot. Where on the body does this equipment go? So for example, if we equipped this on Brutus's arms, it would go here. Now unfortunately, arms has a requirement. I can't equip this. I can't start bearing arms until I've hit some of these stats. There's the cross swords here at the maximum health 10 spot, and again here at the 7 or more attack or heal spot. So upgrading your characters to bear arms is a long path, right? Lots of experience needed to do that. The other thing is, I can only buy this equipment at certain locations. If I'm in the City of Kings, I can buy it. So Szechara could if there were enough resources in the barn. There aren't. Or not just at the City of Kings, but you may find a shop out in the locations you're exploring. Only in those 2 places can you pick up items from the trade district. Brutus now has 2 more actions. That's our explore complete. Alright. We can't explore again. We can't move again. Attack, heal, nothing there. No specials. We could interact, draw another quest. Or we could activate our worker number 1. So why don't we do that? Let's move worker number 1. Workers have the same movement restrictions as heroes. I've just upgraded the worker movement for Brutus's workers to 2. So normally they'd be able to move in here. And we could, as the second movement, move here. You can move from an unexplored tile to an explored tile. And indeed, workers can explore. But there's a risk here. First off, we can explore. If we had a quest, we wouldn't get the reward immediately, for example. But the other thing is, if a creature's revealed, our worker's going to get trapped. Anytime a creature and a worker share a tile, that worker's trapped. They can't move, they can't perform actions. So there is a risk. The other thing, of course, is I could move again up to the Moon Lake. And once at the Moon Lake, I could do some work. I could gather some resources, but there's a risk. This worker has a gather stat of 1. They would roll 1 die. And on this die, this blue die, there's 2 attention icons. There's a 1 in 3 chance that that a creature is going to appear here, and that will then trap the worker here as well. So, do I take the risk? Do I move again? Well, I could move again, and then next time a hero could come in here, move, and potentially take down that creature. So yeah, why don't we? Let's get on with the business of moving, and that'll leave an action free next time. So let's move again. Remember, I can move from an unexplored tile to an explored tile. The only movement that's restricted is unexplored to unexplored. So I don't have to explore this tile, I can just move while on through it. And in fact I could, if I wanted to, move again. I could move over here, because I've got 2 movement. But no, we're going to stop here over at the Moon Lake. That's it then, that's Brutus's worker complete. That's his 4th action complete. We end Brutus's turn. Join me next time then as we continue our playthrough of the City of Kings with Szechara taking her actions.